just get my chat running. Oh dear. Where are we not going? Facebook. It's not going live to Facebook. Oh wait, here we go. Great. Okay. Productive and prosperous. Content and accepting. Graceful and humble. Caution and compassionate. Honesty and tact. Awareness, disillusionment, and discernment. Freedom and manifestation. Here it is. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but yesterday was it was a day. It started out great, and then just some stuff from people that I have yet to meet, influencing my reality. Or perhaps not, perhaps just the illusion of it. Maybe it's my own paranoia. Who knows? But I can't allow that to derail my process, you know? Someone says something that, or you become aware of something that makes you feel depressy spaghetti. Yeah, you can't just like sit and wallow in that. You gotta take action and just continue to move forward. So here I am. I thought of giving myself a reading. I tried looking for some readings online, but I find it's so hard to find someone else who does what I'm doing. And those that do, they're all offline right now. Or they have been all day. Maybe I will still give myself a reading, but that's really intimate, you know, to read for myself on a live stream. Yeah, I'll just lay all my psychic residue out on the table so you guys can see everything. Now, I'll probably do one later. Do one for myself a bit later. So basically, when I was married, because I was married, I recently got divorced. After our separation, there was some where are my words? Okay, so we separated because of the toxicity that was going on in our relationship. My wife and I, ex-wife. And then we started working on our relationship with the intent of getting back together to some extent. And then there was infidelity on the other end of the relationship. And I was like, well, I thought we were rebuilding something. And then, you know, I'm not looking for another relationship. And here you are, dating this guy and that guy and sleeping with this guy, and it was like, what the fuck? But anyway, that's obviously some kind of trauma that I'm carrying around as emotional baggage, because now that my current partner has gone on an adventure, and this is not the first time she's gone on an adventure. The first time she went to host an ayahuasca ceremony. So this time she's volunteering at the summer solstice event, and I'm struggling with paranoia, anxiety and paranoia. And I've got to just let go of that, and accept the possible reality that I'm afraid of, otherwise it'll continuously eat me up. Just accept it and let go. That's what I've got to do, or otherwise this paranoia is just going to keep eating me up. Choose to trust. Choose to just trust my partner. Trust the relationship that we have. She's demonstrated honesty and openness and self-awareness, so the lack of trust or the feelings of mistrust and paranoia are irrational, and I can't listen to them or focus on them. It's not intuition. My intuition says trust. My intuition says I've got all the evidence that I need to prove that she's trustworthy and honest and open. That's what my intuition says. But my body still wants to shake and feel miserable and depressed. I'm sure you guys can relate, to some degree anyway. Some of the other things that I'm up to, I just wrote another song. I'll probably play it for you guys tomorrow. I was just fiddling around with the guitar, and I played a new progression that I haven't played before. It's just a couple of chords. There's no vocals. I haven't added any other instruments yet. Hey Cosmic Dust, how are you doing? Welcome. It's good to see you back in the chat. I think we've seen you before. It's difficult, because like cosmic can go before anything. Cosmic star, cosmic dust, who knows? But anyway, thanks for joining us and welcome. I was just talking about paranoia, dealing with paranoia, noticing that my intuition is saying trust, have faith, you can trust this person, they are honest and tactful and discerning, you've seen that, and they're self-aware, and then still having these paranoid thoughts, like intrusive thoughts that keep coming, choosing to follow the intuition and not react to the fear. It's a difficult one. I mean, it's something that I've practiced a lot, and it's something that I gotta keep practicing. It's like I guess it has gotten easier. Last time was a lot more intense. It was terrible. I wept. The paranoia was so intense that I literally lay in the temple, took a walk into the forest temple here and just lay in front of the altar and wept for hours, and then sang, and then came home. This time it's not that intense, hasn't been that intense. I have a lot more trust, and just the emotional influx isn't as intense, isn't as overwhelming this time. I just realized that I haven't put on the music. Or maybe I did. Nope, I didn't. I've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. That's a load of nonsense. but it looks like there's a bit of a connection issue here. Of course. If you'd like to join the queue, just go ahead and ask. I haven't done any readings today yet. And yeah, let's get the ball rolling. What's next in my connection with P? Okay. Let's find out what the tarot has to say. Hey Shital, welcome back. Yes, we will make it a good evening, whether it wants to be or not. Good evening to you as well. Claim it. What's next in Cosmic's connection with P? Past interval, present interval, and future interval. So your past interval is the Queen of Wands. And so this is just saying that you've come through in this year, or in this connection that you formed with P, whenever it started. It's something in the past, it's something that's already happened. So in this connection you have communicated what you want out of the relationship, and you're trying to use that desire that you have as like fuel to make it real. You're like saying, okay, I want this, I'm going to make it happen. Or let me say have been, because it is past interval. So have been like saying to yourself, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to make happen. But then in the way that you're communicating it, it's almost intimidating for him. It's like you're wielding a shock value, like, yeah, I do this and I do that, almost like trying to impress him too much, and it's almost intimidating, making him feel like he's inadequate for you, like you're trying to say I'm good enough and he's like, oh my god, I'm not good enough because you're so amazing, kind of vibe that's going on there with the Queen of Wands in the position of the past. But that is past, so it's what has brought you into the present. And in the present we have number 14 of the trumps, and that's called art, also called temperance in the Rider-Waite. But basically what this card is saying is that you are, as a result of seeing what this is doing to the relationship, you guys are now, you're trying to see how you can incorporate him into your creative process. So you're looking at what you're busy doing with your life. You were busy communicating that, like putting that forward, and that was intimidating for him. And now you're looking at it and saying, okay, what is my process, and how can he complement my process? How can P like be involved in my process, and how can I inspire him and complement his creative process? How can we find something in common? How can we like work together in a way that's separate to romance? So we've got romance, that's what we're trying to build. Well, maybe that's what you're trying to build, I don't know. But considering the Queen of Wands, I'd say yes, that is a thought that's in the ether. But anyway, you're basically just looking at ways that you can interact and work together that's separate to romance, trying to build a relationship, a friendly, interactive, communal relationship that will lead into romance. Basically that's what the art card number 14 is talking about in the present. You're trying to find ways that your creative process can complement him, and trying to see ways that he can complement your creative process regarding whatever it is that you're trying to create for yourself and for himself, whatever your mission might look like in the present. So your future interval is the Hanged Man reversed. So this card, it's saying that moving into this relationship, moving into your connection. Like you're saying, what's next with my connection? This card is saying what's up next is some difficulty, some suffering to endure through, and that suffering is going to come because of the way the Queen of Wands affected him in the past. So when you were expressing and talking about yourself and what you're doing with your life and what you have done and your accomplishments, and it intimidated him, so now what's opening for you is you having to endure the consequences of that. Okay, it's not like you did anything wrong, but now you're going to have to work through the results of him being intimidated by you. He might withdraw. Basically, the Hangman is saying that you're now about to go into a position that you put yourself in because of interactions in the past. You're going to go through something that you brought on yourself, and it's going to be something that you have to endure. It's not going to be pleasant or easy. There's probably going to be some emotional backlash you're going to experience, and just to be aware of it and have patience, and stay true to what you want out of the relationship. Stay true to the creative process that you're trying to work on in the present, the interactivity that you're trying to work on and grow in the present. Continue to work on that despite whatever resistances you get from him or from his friends or whatever it might be. Wherever the resistance comes from, recognize that it's something that is a result of your own actions and words, and that you're just going to have patience and endure through it, and yeah, you'll make a breakthrough. If you stay committed to the co-creation and the interactivity that's happening in the present, then yeah, and you endure, it'll come right. So thank you. Yeah, that's your reading. Priestess Azura, amazing. Welcome, babe. Thank you. Thank you for your support. It's so amazing to see you in the chat. And yeah, Cosmic Dust, you're most welcome. So I see I've got a request from Shital, who says, do you have guidance? Can I have guidance for my daughter, her studies and all? We'll do that up next. Hugh, hug me tight. Ooh, wow, free reading? Yes. So Shital is up next. Hug me tight. If you want a reading, just ask a question and then you'll be part of the queue. Love you very much, Azura, and missing you so much. Can't wait to see you again, and it's such a blessing to see you in the chat today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for checking up on what I'm busy with. Libran lady, welcome. It's good to see you. To join the queue, you just ask a question. We're doing a reading for Shital, looking for guidance for her daughter. Lots of love and hugs from Shital. Thank you so much, and to you as well. What does the universe want Shital to be aware of regarding her daughter's studies? Past interval, present, and future. So, past interval is the Six of Swords. And what this one is saying, that basically she's been doing well. She's been interacting with other classmates and with her teachers, lecturers, whatever it might be. She's been interacting with them whenever she becomes aware of her own limits. Like, she'll be like, okay, I didn't catch on in this class well enough. I need to catch up on whatever was taught in that lesson, or whatever. She interacts with the other students and with the teachers if she needs clarity. As soon as she becomes aware of something she's missed or something that's still limited, somewhere that she's struggling, she reaches out and she communicates and she evolves past that limit. And she's also doing this for others. You know, when other people are struggling, she's helping other people study, helping other classmates catch up, working together just to make sure that everyone is held and everyone is making progress with what they need to learn. Yeah, very encouraging card. Well done to your daughter. In the present, we have the Four of Discs, and this is her. In the present, she is staying true to her schedules and her structure. She's got a certain schedule. We get up in the morning, eat, go to school, come home, study, and yeah, she's doing productive things each day and staying within her schedule. And when she can't, she's being flexible and making sure that she just keeps up with what's a priority, saying, okay, studying is a priority, this subject I'm behind on, so this is a priority, need to get grinding with that one. But basically the Four of Discs just talks about exercising your authority over your physical life and your physical space, making sure you're keeping up with your self-care and sticking to your routine. That's basically what the Four of Discs is all about, and I see that in her present, so it's what she's currently working with, staying flexible and committed to her routine and her structure. Future interval is the Prince of Cups. So this card is saying that it's a warning, basically, saying that when exam times come, there's going to be a lot of emotional pressure, anxiety and stress. So the closer she's getting to the exams, the more pressure and the more stress she's enduring, and that stress, that emotional turmoil, it kind of like, it puts her process at risk. So the things that she's studying and her process and her routine, the more emotional stress that she gets, the more she's likely to deviate from her routine and structure and get distracted with her studies. So basically the card is here as a warning, saying that she's going to have to engage her potential, really engage the potential of her focus and her emotional authority, being able to focus and separate, stay within purpose, separate reaction from purpose, where she can still study and still trust that she has the knowledge and the experience she needs to pass this exam, and not allow the fears of failure and the anxiety and the stressors to distract her and demotivate her or throw her into a depressive episode. It's basically saying that the emotions are going to be difficult, the stress is going to be difficult to stay true to the process, but if she's able to separate from reaction and stay true to the purpose that she set, which is to study and pass, then she'll have that breakthrough and that outcome will be hers. All in all, it's an encouraging spread, and we all know about the stresses that come with exams, and there are things you can do to help make that easier. This card is reversed, which indicates that there might be some outside resistances, like when she gets the stress, then she might get a little bit depressed, and then you might get angry with her for not studying. So if something like that happens, the cards just want you to have a bit of compassion and understanding and be more encouraging than disciplinary, basically. Sila. Thank you. If you're by the means, please support me by sending a donation. It's entirely optional, but much appreciated. Thank you so much. Alright. And those are the only requests in the chat at this point. Awesome. It's interesting, it seems that Fridays and Sundays this time, not so many people on social media, or not so many people looking for readings. It's interesting because I spent the morning looking for free readings for myself. So Libran lady says, how does he currently feel about me, please? Cool. do that reading for you now. How does Libran lady's romantic interest feel about her in the present? Past interval, present interval, future interval. So we have number 0 of the trumps as your past interval, and it is called the Fool. It's reversed. So this card is just talking about taking a leap of faith. So what that implies regarding your question is that developing this relationship or interacting with you, it's been a leap of faith for him. Quantum leap, having to look ahead despite anxieties and fears and whatever he's dealing with, to just look ahead at what he wants and what he's trying to create and just go for it. The card is implying that this has not been in his interest. He probably should have paid more attention to what was in his present rather than looking into the future consistently. But he does have the potential to grow and receive abundance, emotional abundance and physical abundance, if he can commit to this choice that he's made. I feel like it's talking a lot more about whatever he left behind rather than what he's leaping into. So he's leaping into this relationship with you. That's the leap of faith he's taking, choosing to trust you and commit to you. But yeah, the card is saying that what he's looking ahead, he's missing something in the present. He's missing out on something that's there in the present by looking too far ahead. And yeah, that's what has led him into his present moment, which is the 5 of Swords. And so this is saying that he's doing the best that he can be doing with his intuition and his thought processes. So like this past interval card is talking about how he looks into the future too much and he's missing things in the present because of his dreamer's vision looking into the future. But he is currently in the present doing the best that he can. He understands his intuition to a certain extent, and he's trying to trust it and learn and develop it to the best of his abilities. And this thought process of looking into the future, that's the best that he can do in the present moment. He doesn't know anymore or have access to more intuitive resources or knowledge that can open up a wider perspective for him. He is doing the best that he can, despite that limit, despite that hindrance where he's looking too far ahead and missing out on the present. So he wants to get into the 6. So we're talking about 5 here. This is the 5 of Swords. He wants to move into the 6. He wants this relationship to make him aware of his limits so that he can learn little bits from you about his intuition and about your thought processes, so that he can integrate that into his own paradigm and thereby make breakthroughs past his limits and past the things that hinder him in his current state of being. I guess he feels like he's doing the best that he can, but he's not making headway. Like he's not seeing the progress that he's expecting in the relationship that you guys are building. But he feels like he's doing the best that he can, so that's kind of makes him feel a little bit hopeless or stagnant. What am I doing wrong? What more can I do? But he doesn't know, because he's already applying everything he knows and everything he has to make this real. Future interval is the Queen of Discs. So the Queen of Discs here is saying that both of you can push this relationship forward if you are willing to work on your physical security, willing to work on your own self-care routines, willing to work on yeah, just paying attention to who and what kind of energies you allow into your physical space, into your home space, because you want to keep that secure. So both of you can interact with each other and express these things and communicate about these things, about keeping home space secure. Talk about self-care routines, talk about how important it is to eat well, and yeah, just get to know him and how he orders his lifestyle, whether he's the kind of guy who eats takeouts every day, or if he's a good cook. Then find out what he does for a living, and then the card is basically saying, you guys, you have a desire for what you want. You want your home space to look a certain way. You want to have certain energies in your home space, and you want to exclude certain energies from your home space. And you want to have a certain kind of income, and you want to have a certain kind of lifestyle. So identifying that desire and then communicating about it to make sure that that's what you're building as you go forward, that you're both building something that you both want in the physical domain. So yeah, how he's feeling, he's feeling anxious. He's taking a leap of faith despite his anxiety. He feels like the relationship is stagnant, like he wants to see progress and growth, but he feels like he's doing the best that he can and he's still not seeing progress. And then a little bit of advice from the tarot is to, yeah, just make sure that you guys are building the same kind of physical environment that you both want for your lives, that your lifestyles and habits are compatible, and that you are both trying to build something in your finances, and that one of you is not going to be pulling the other one along. That's basically what the tarot has to say. Libran Lady says he doesn't really share, so I expressed my concern, but he doesn't seem to have liked it. Well, perhaps that's an indicator. Give him some space, let him think about it. He does feel like he's doing the best that he can, so perhaps share your own process so that he can learn some things from you and hopefully integrate that into his process and help him overcome his previous limits. Selah. Masharita says, hello everybody, may I ask a question? I'm separated from my boyfriend, who we expect a child soon. Are we getting back together or permanently separated? Okay, we can do that reading for you. You will be up next. And welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Libran Lady, thank you so much, Karin. You're most welcome. Thank you for joining us. What is the best course of action for Sharita regarding her current relationship and separation? Jane O'Neill, hi, I've been stressed today. Neck and shoulders are sore. Do you see me having a job and love being single for 6 years? A house love? My brothers passed away 6 months ago. Welcome, Jane. Thank you for joining us. You will be up next. This reading I'm about to do will be for Sharita on YouTube, who says, thank you for having me. I hope you're having a great day so far. Yes, thank you so much. My day has been... I've been dealing with some turmoil and some anxiety, and let me be blatantly honest, some paranoia. So, doing the best that I can, trying to make the best out of the day, and yeah, let me turn over these cards for you. So we have a 10 of discs here, and this is talking about an end to somebody's work life, or an end to somebody's home life. Though it's probably talking about this relationship that you have. It's the separation has like created a complete shift, an end to the way that things were in the physical sense, in the home security, in the home space. It's possibly saying that there was also as things came to an end, there was the reaping of harvest. So new income or support from family or job, whatever it might have been. There was some kind of financial or physical support that came in, and then old ways ended at the same time. This is in the position of the past. It's something that's already happened, and it's all about completion in the physical reality. And that's firstly talking about receiving something, receiving the returns on investments that you've made, investments of time and energy, seeing that return to you in the form of support from family or friends, or even in the work environment. And then simultaneously talking about the close, coming to a close in the way that old physical securities, what it looked like in the past. So that's specifically talking about the separation. You had a certain way of living in your physical home space, and then the separation created a big shift and an end to old ways in that home space and the way it looked. This is what has brought you into the present, and in the present we have a Prince of Cups. So this Prince of Cups, it's reversed, and it's saying that in the present you're experiencing some emotional difficulty, emotional suffering. Particularly, it talks about suffering in your emotional being. It's also saying that the suffering is something you brought on yourself. Whatever led up to the separation, you had a part to play in it, and that's what this card is saying. So the struggle that you're going through now in your emotional being, it is a result of your own actions and your own choices. Just something to be aware of and to acknowledge. The card is saying that the only way through this is to endure. Identifying what your purpose is for you and for this child that you have, what you're going to do about it, and what your future now looks like because you're expecting a child, and then choosing to act in alignment with that purpose and not allow this emotional turmoil to cause you to do something impulsive or reactionary, not doing something spiteful, not doing something depressy spaghetti, staying true to the purpose that you need to create now that you're expecting a child, acting in alignment with that despite the emotional suffering, and then sticking to it and committing to that priority and just having endurance and pushing through, really looking into yourself and engaging your strength and your potential in order to push through this and not react or succumb to the negative emotion. Are you getting back together? The card is saying that it shouldn't matter at this point. You should focus on you at this point and your child and what you're going to do, regardless of whether this relationship comes together. Learning to deal with this emotional turmoil despite having the separation. Learning to engage your potential and make progress for yourself and your child and your family despite external influences, despite unforeseen variables, despite an absent father. Creating that vision and pursuing it, just creating your future for yourself and your child regardless of what you're feeling or what's going on in the environment. Future interval. 6 of Wands. Okay, so this one is saying that there is the possibility for the relationship to go on, for the separation to end and for reunion to happen for you guys. Basically, the separation, this card is saying that the separation you're going through now is a result of you guys making one another aware of your limitations. So he has desires that he wants to see realized in his life, and you have desires that you want to see realized in your life. And the relationship made you guys, he made you aware of your limits, perhaps not in the most pleasant of ways, and you made him aware of his limits and how he's not moving in alignment with his desires, and he made you aware of the same thing going on in your space, how you're not moving towards your desires, or how you're still limited despite trying to get there. And the relationship is saying, this card is saying that the relationship has given you guys the pieces that you need in order to overcome those limits and move towards your goals. And the separation is part of that process. So it's a key. It's a key to say, if you want to be together, what you can do in the present is have a look, like we saw with the Prince of Cups, have a look at engaging your potential and sorting out what you're creating, and then interact with him, take that to him and communicate it with him, and just worry about your end of the bargain. And listen to whatever he has to say, and listen to what he's creating, and then give each other bits of advice and give each other access to new resources that one another doesn't have, technology and finances, if that's part of the resources that's required, so that you guys can evolve through your limitations, and then your relationship will reunite and you guys will stand together as pillars and make this reality work for your unborn child, your child that's to be, that you're expecting. The card is just saying that go through the process in the present, forget about whether or not it's going to happen, just focus on yourself in the present, and then take that to him and communicate it with him, and allow him to give you pieces to help you overcome your limits, and allow give him pieces of the puzzle that he can use to overcome his limits, and then you guys will start to work together, and that'll bring your relationship, that'll slowly repair the relationship and bring you closer. Wands is all about desire, so it's got to be something that you want. And it also is saying you've got to be doing the best. You've got to be applying yourself to your limits if you want to make it work. Thank you for joining us. Please follow me or subscribe, or just like and follow, and if you by the means, you can also send me a donation. My links are in the description. So up next we have a reading for Jane O'Neill on Facebook, and then I see we've got a Gudu Gosh who has joined us on Facebook as well. Can I get a government job in 2022? Probably, if that's what you want. You can make anything that you want real for yourself. But we will ask the tarot. And then we also got Halsey on YouTube. May I be added? Welcome, Halsey. The way that the queue works is that if you want to be added, you just ask a question or say something like general reading, if that's what you prefer. And as soon as I see that, you're added to the queue, and I answer the questions in the order that they appear in the chat. Thank you so much. Sharita, you are most welcome, and I'm sure that we will be seeing you again. Thank you for joining us. So Jane says, I've been stressed today, neck and shoulders are sore. Do you see me having a job and love? Been single for 6 years. A house, love? My brother passed away 6 months ago. How can Jane secure herself financially and find or grow a relationship, a healthy and fulfilling relationship? So your past interval is the Fool, and he's reversed. That's number 0 of the trumps. And basically the Fool talks about having faith, taking a leap of faith. It's like you're presented with new opportunities and then having to just leap into it and go full force into this new reality. Having fear biting into you, like fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of missing out, or whatever. There's just fear and anxiety playing a part in this kind of the energy that this card talks about. And looking ahead and jumping and having faith in the process anyway, despite the fear, and not letting it take you away from this opportunity that you have. The card is reversed, saying that taking this leap, grabbing hold of this opportunity might not have been in your best interest. There might have been other things in the present that would have been better for you if you had seen them or acknowledged them. Looking into the future and then taking this leap of faith, there is potential for abundance here, but you might have found it sooner if you had paid attention to all of the variables that were going on in your present. But it's in the past. It's something that you've already done. You've already taken this leap. You're already stepping into the new reality that you want to create. So now what's important is staying committed, and it's what has brought you into the present. In the present we have a 3 of discs, and this 3 of discs is saying that you are becoming aware of your struggles when working with other people, having to interact with other people and work together with people in order to secure yourself. Like when you're in a job space, when you have a job, then you have to work with colleagues and a boss, and not all of us can do this very well. So this present card is saying that this leap of faith has brought you into a place where you're now working with other people to secure yourself. So maybe you're still looking for a job, still applying, but you're trying to find like side sources of like a side income, a side hustle. And you have to interact and work with other people, and you're becoming aware of the difficulties that you have when it comes to working with other people. The card says that that's something you're going to have to work on. You're going to have to stick to it in the present. It's part of the commitment that you made when you took this quantum leap, when you made this leap of faith. So it's important that you work on your ability to interact with others, and then observe what your creative process looks like. So how do you get things done? And share that, see how that process, your process of getting things done, can complement the group, whatever this group is. If it's one person or 2 other people that you interact with and work together with or communicate with, people that you rely on for advice. Look at how you make things happen for yourself, and then see how that process can complement what the group is working on. It's just saying working with others is something you got to work on now and try to streamline. That the abundance that was present as an opportunity when you took this leap of faith is only available if you stay consistent with developing your ability to work with others. And future key is the Knight of Discs. So this card is saying yes, we have the opportunity for a job. You asked me, do I see you getting a job? That card is saying yes. What's opening up for you is a new way of securing yourself financially, and that will appear as soon as what you're currently doing falls away. So if things look like they're coming to a close, that's not a bad thing. Allow it to happen, because in the interim, as the old falls away, the universe gives birth to the new. So continue to apply for jobs, continue to look for that work opportunity, and if you see adverts for vacancies, apply to them, and no, you can't get hurt by applying for jobs. And then regarding your love question, the 3 of discs in the present, it tells me that these people that you interact with and that you rely on for advice and that you work with, there's opportunity for romance and relationship there. So as you're working on yourself and you're working on securing yourself financially, the people that you're interacting with, someone's going to stand out and someone is going to get closer and closer, and you're going to find you can rely on this person and this person can rely on you. And in that, as that relationship builds and you guys get closer and closer, you'll suddenly find yourselves saying, hey, let's take the next step. And don't hang too tightly onto it. With the Knight of Discs, it's saying don't hang too tightly onto it. Be willing to accept the possibility of that relationship not forming. Be willing to accept the possibility of a relationship coming to an end. Be willing to accept that the relationship that's opening for you and the job opportunity that's opening for you might just be a learning period, and it might just be the opening step that brings you closer to what you actually want from life and from a relationship. So that concludes your reading. Thank you very much for joining. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And then let me have a look. Sharita says, do you mind if I ask another question? I would be happy to donate. Yes, you're most welcome to ask another question, and I'll get to it as it appears in the chat. I need to keep up with everyone that has asked questions. But if you'd like to be bumped to the top of the queue to have your reading next, you can go ahead and send that donation, and when I receive it, I'll do your reading next. So after Jane, we have a Guru Gosh, and then Halsey. And then we've got Skitty, who's joined us. Skitty says, hi Karin, I hope you're doing well. My question is, was I right in walking away from my person, or did I sabotage it? Sharita says, I've been stuck in limbo, keeping or terminating this pregnancy. Oops. I'm not sure what to do. I'm being pulled towards both. And then Halsey says, what did Elle think of me when we stared into each other's eyes for the first time? Thank you. Cool. So I've still got a reading for Gosh, or Guru Gosh on Facebook, and then Halsey will be up next. Or is that right? Halsey didn't ask a question until after Skitty's question. So Skitty is first in the queue after Guru Gosh. Okay. So Guru's asking, can I get a government job? Let's find out. Awesome. Is a government job the right career solution for Guru Gosh? So your past interval here is the Ten of Swords. So this is saying that whatever you were doing previously up until now came to a close. So Swords is about purpose and intuition. And purpose is chosen. It's something you create for yourself. You set purpose for yourself. So you had a purpose that you set. You had a mission and a goal you were accomplishing. And yeah, that recently came to a close. You finished it, or there was some kind of external variable that brought it to a close. And that can be disheartening, it can be frightening. You know, when you reach the end of what you were doing, or you're getting close to the end of what you're doing, it can be like, oh shit, you know, there's the end of the road. What's happening next? Where do I go from there? So that's what that card is just acknowledging, that you've reached the end of your purpose, the purpose that you set for yourself. It's recently come to a close, and now you're looking to set new purpose for yourself, and that's why you're asking about government jobs, and it's what has brought you into the present, which is the Four of Discs. So what this Four of Discs wants to say to you is that you can secure yourself financially. You can have a look at you have a certain vision naturally about what you want your finances to look like, what you want your financial reality and your career reality to look like. And so this card is saying that in the present you have the authority to begin working on building that career future for yourself and that financial future. And you are, in the present, you are setting up structure. You're setting up routine for yourself, productive routine that you can work on every day, something you can work on each day that'll bring you closer to the financial reality that you want to create for yourself. And that's amazing. That is you setting new purpose. You've identified what you wanted, you're taking authority, and you are setting routine for yourself. And the card wants to give you a bit of advice and say that when there are things that happen in the world around you and in the environment that keep you away from your routine, don't let that derail your process. Don't let that sabotage the vision that you're creating. As long as you can identify what is a priority on that list of things that you schedule for yourself in your routine each day, and then do at least one thing, be flexible and fit it in somewhere. It doesn't have to happen at the time you scheduled it. Just if it's a priority, identify it as a priority and be flexible with it. Move it somewhere else in the schedule where you can still do it. And as long as you can do this with your priorities and keep up with one thing like this, one productive activity that brings you closer to your goal, you're still within your purpose and you're still acting within this new purpose that you're setting for yourself. So that could even mean, sending your CV to apply for various positions. It doesn't say whether you should continue to apply specifically to government jobs or whether you should apply to multiple jobs. What the card is saying is that the routine you're setting for yourself, commit to it and be flexible with it, and make sure that you are able to keep up with your priorities. And if you can't, just be flexible and work it in as best you can. Don't give up because of external environments coming in that prevent you from sticking to your schedule. Your future interval is the Queen of Cups. So this card talks about having a desire to be within a specific emotional state of being. You want the government job because it brings you a certain amount of security, and it comes with nice little perks like insurance and whatever else. I haven't looked too much into it, but I know there are a lot of perks to working in a government position. So this card is reversed. It's saying that pursuing that as part of a future, trying to say that's the future you want to create for yourself, and using that as a reason, just this desire for a certain amount of emotional security, isn't beneficial. It's not good enough. You are capable of more, and you're worthy of more, and you can create more for yourself than just that. It's saying that you can have the future, any future that you want. It doesn't have to be in a government job, but it can be. You can have any of that, but regardless of what you choose, you're going to have to let go of that need for a certain amount of emotional security and emotional satisfaction. You're going to have to be able to to push through and stick to schedules and be committed to yourself regardless of how you're feeling. Even if you get into a government job and you do get secured, it's not going to be enough. Your expenses will rise, your cost of living will rise, and you'll just find new stresses will start pressing on you. It kind of reminds me of like buying a new memory card. You've got all this space now, but the more you use it, the more clogged up it gets, and then eventually at some point you're going to have to start erasing things and creating a balance between what comes in and what goes out in order to keep a consistent flow. So the state of being of emotional security that you want out of this government job is not something, it's not something that you're going to find in a job or even in your own process. You're going to have to be able to endure emotional discomfort regardless of what choice you make, but you are capable of creating whatever future you want, and you're capable of more than just a simple government job. So that concludes your reading. Thank you very much for joining. Please don't forget to follow me and like this video, and you can also share it. If you're by the means, you can send me a donation of your choosing. Thank you so much. Up next is Skitty. And then we've got an Ashley Seymour who has joined us. Good morning, says Ashley. What do my next few months look like? Amazing. You are added to the queue, Ashley, and we will get to you. Before I go on to Skitty's reading and then Halsey after that, I'm first going to roll myself a little rolly. Take a brief break. We've been online for about an hour, and that's a halfway mark. Halsey is here. Amazing. Thank you for sticking around. So, Ashley says, sounds good, I'll hang around. Amazing, thank you. But yeah, tell me how you guys are doing in your life, you know, what's up? What you guys creating for yourselves? I always love to talk about what we're creating because we are creators after all, you know. Seth Gomez on YouTube, welcome, good morning wherever you are. I'm in South Africa, it is not morning, but a good morning to you. Make sure that you claim that as a good morning, because you know emotions and uncontrollable variables like to come and sabotage our good mornings and turn them into shit mornings. But you know, you have the authority to make your morning good. You've got to claim it. You've got to make your experience enjoyable. Like, I was feeling low just before I came online, so I decided to play some music, and that helped me. And then when I came online, I just like spoke about how I'd been feeling, and did a little bit of a power meditation, and yeah, just making sure that I'm having a good day, you know, not allowing my emotions to make it a bad day for me. Just choosing a good day. Sharita says, nice, South Africa. I pray to go one day. It is a beautiful country. Seth Gomez says, I appreciate that note actually, and you're most welcome. Yeah, where are you guys at? Seth Gomez, Los Angeles, amazing. Stream is reaching the ends of the earth. I had a look at my analytics the other day, and I saw that most of my viewers come in from France and India. Interesting. I guess it's to do with the time zone. I noticed that my video game streams get a lot of French viewers. I'll get almost every video game stream I'll get someone coming in speaking French. So I also noticed that when I'm playing in the lobbies on like online games, then I often get French French-speaking folks in my lobbies with me. Most of them can speak English, but occasionally they can't. Ashley Seymour, Maine, United States. Awesome. Halsey, Arizona. Seth says, Sharita, I was born in New Jersey, actually. Amazing. Thank you for your support, guys. Jelly Melly Mellow, welcome. As you probably remember from past streams, the queue works in a way that you just add your question to the list, to the comments, and there you go, you know? Then you add it. So I'd like for... Who was after Voodoo Gosh? It was Skitty. Skitty, if you're still in the chat, please let me know, because I've seen the viewer numbers go down. And if you're not here anymore, then I can move on to Halsey's question. I'd love to see you guys chatting in the comments section. It's awesome. Seth says he hates it here. Oh, Sharita says she hates it here, and then Seth says, yeah, I read as well. Oftentimes my viewers are from there as well. Moved away when he was 12. Let me lay the spread. Sharita, you are still on the queue. I'm not sure if there's anyone after Halsey. Jelly Melly Mellow says, reading about my job appointment today. Amazing, you're joined to the queue. But it doesn't look like Skitty is here anymore. So I'm gonna go on to Halsey's reading, which was, what did Elle think of me when we stared into each other's eyes for the first time? Cool. Let me know if you guys are still here. Skitty, you in the chat? Halsey? Okay, Halsey's still here. Amazing. Ashley's still here? Cool. So what did Elle think of Halsey after the intimate connection she spoke of? Your past interval is the Ten of Cups. So this card is saying that he felt full. His emotional being felt full when he gazed into your eyes. When you stared into one another's eyes, he felt full and satisfied. His emotions were complete. His emotional being it felt complete and whole in that moment. Yeah, he felt like he had been working on building this relationship for a long time, or not, maybe not a long time, but was investing time and energy into it and investing emotional value into it. And then when you guys had that moment of connection, he felt like that was the returns. Like everything that you guys were working for was being harvested. The returns on those investments of time and emotional investment, it was being returned. He felt full and content. It's very beautiful. In the present, we have a Nine of Wands. So this Nine of Wands is the place of contemplation and self-reflection right before completion. So right now, in the present, because of this connection that you've had, he's sitting and he's thinking, okay, we are right before completion. Like, any minute now, this relationship is going to be solid and set in stone. Because that's what he wants. He wants that to form. He wants that kind of relationship to form between you two. So he's sitting alone and he's thinking, yeah, we're right before that point. He's examining everything that you guys have been through and all the interactions you've had up until this point, looking at himself and looking at how your presence affects his emotional being in positive and negative ways, and looking for why it affects him in those ways, just identifying all of that. And once he's finished with this self-reflective process, and you as well, once you're finished with this self-reflective process, you guys will be connected, the desire will be complete. Basically the next time you interact after coming through this period of self-reflection, that's when everything is confirmed and solidified, and where names are written into benches and encircled in a heart. And future interval number 13 of the trumps, reversed, death. So as you guys enter into this relationship, old ways of life are over. Whole new way of being and existing and expressing on each other's feelings, new ways of communication. I can't even describe it. Like, for me, when I got into a relationship most recently, my whole world shifted as a result of that finalization, of that moving into completion of desire. Suddenly all the old ways of life were just gone, and it was a whole new reality, a whole new existence. I was like not even on Earth anymore. It was a whole new planet, whole new universe. And basically that's what this card is saying. As you're moving into this, there's going to be some difficult stuff too, like moving in might be a thing that happens, moving in together, and in that case you'd have to let go of whatever it was wherever you were living before, or something of that kind of nature is about to happen. As the new is birthed and the old is culled away, there's always pain in the letting go and the culling away of the old things. There's always a certain amount of pain as the attachments are lost, and that's what the death card is here to talk about. The opening of new reality because of this relationship coming into its fullness, and then the death of the whole old way of life and the whole old universe. So that concludes your reading. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you will subscribe and like this video, and I hope that you will return some value to me by making a donation. Thank you so much. And we have an Ashish. Hey sir, my name is Ahal, and my partner name is Ravi. My question is, what is my partner's current feelings towards me? And then we've got Fei. Hello, can I ask please about my person's current feelings? Thank you. Amazing, guys. So the queue works that as soon as you ask a question, you're added to the queue. So you guys have been added. Halsey said that is so accurate. Thank you so much. You are most welcome. I'm sure that we will be seeing you again soon. Sharita says, good luck, Halsey. I'm loving this very supportive vibes that are going on in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Having a look at my list to see who is next after Halsey. The next question is for Sharita, the next answer, next reading. So this reading is about keeping your pregnancy or terminating. So I've observed this process twice before, the pregnancy process, and I've observed the termination of the process, and I can say that either way there's going to be pain and lifestyle change. Whether you terminate the pregnancy or go through to term, the change in your lifestyle will be, it'll just be a complete shift, a whole new way of life, one way or another, and there will be pain, physical and emotional pain in either direction. Having a kid is painful, and like everything they do and say affects you in some way, and letting go of that, and then you spend a lot of time remembering and thinking about how old this child will be now. And the body remembers the trauma when you terminate a pregnancy. The body remembers the trauma, and you will experience similar miscarriage symptoms every year. Well, maybe not every year, but at least 2 years afterwards. Your body will remember that experience and will almost recreate it. It won't be as intense, but it's something that sticks with you and stays in you. The experience either way, going through with a birth or terminating the pregnancy, it's a big thing to do either way. Sharita, you are next. Skitty is back. You got disconnected. Your reading was skipped because you had left the chat. So I will do Sharita's reading, and then I will do yours for you right after that, and get you back on track. And then after that will be Ashley on Facebook. Okay. All right. What advice does the universe have for Sharita regarding this pregnancy she is currently going through? Okay, so again we see the Queen of Wands, and it's reversed in the position of the past. So this card just talks about being too intense with your passions and your desires, in the way that you communicate it. When you're talking to people about what you want, it's kind of intimidating and frightening them, the intensity with which you speaking. It's difficult for me to give an example, but when I see someone doing it, I always know, there's a Queen of Wands reversed. But anyway, it's just saying wielding fear in your communication, having a desire that you want to create, and then wielding fear when you talk about it, wielding shock value and intensity in the passion of your voice. It also talks about making your experience someone else's responsibility. So saying, okay, this is what I want, and now I'm angry with you because of the things you've done that have prevented me from getting what I want. So it's never up to anybody else to help us or take us away from what we want. Help us get or take us away. It's always up to us. This card is in the position of the past, so it's something that you have done. But basically what the card wants you to be aware of is that it's never anyone else's responsibility to give you or keep you away from what you want. It's always your own responsibility to choose and create what you want for yourself. And so it's also saying that when you communicate with a shock value, when you intimidate people based on your intentions and the intensity of how badly you want something, it's not in the interest of making that real for yourself. So to find some compassion, and perhaps speak less and only speak when asked about your desires and what you're creating and what you want to do. Only discuss it when asked about it. In the present, we have a 10 of Cups reversed. So this is saying that you are reaping the returns of emotional investments in the present, and those emotional investments are specifically linked to this Queen of Wands reversed energy, and that was not necessarily positive impact, not necessarily a positive emotional impact that you were giving into your environment with your words and your actions. And so in the present, you are reaping the rewards, you're experiencing the results of how others have been made to feel by your actions and words. And so that's been difficult. You know, when you intimidate someone or frighten someone or shock someone, they have a tendency to withdraw. And so in the present, you're experiencing that withdrawal of people withdrawing support, withdrawing their company, or whatever it might have been that was there before. Suddenly those things are being retracted, and that's a result of the Queen of Wands energy that was here in the past. Future interval is a Six of Wands reversed. It's very interesting how you're getting similar cards to the last spread. And this Six of Wands, it is saying that what you want is it's saying that what you want is to carry this child to term. You are aware, you've been interacting with other mothers and people who have gone through this, and it's making you aware of your limitations, making you feel inadequate, or like you're going to have to give up your dreams in order to make this pregnancy, to carry this pregnancy through to term means you'll have to sacrifice yourself, and that is true. There is a certain amount of yourself that you're going to have to sacrifice, but that's the limitation. That's overcoming the limitation. If you can do that, you're breaking the limitation. And you will be able to recover yourself. You will be able to recover your dreams once your child is like a year or 2 years old. My daughter is now 4 years old, and my reality is recovering. I'm getting back to the state of being where I could have been before she became a possibility. And then I had to really lay down myself, all of my selfish wants and intentions, and everything I was creating for myself had to be put on hold while I catered for her and raised her through the first year of her life. So that's something that's going to happen. So basically it's saying that the limitations that you see in yourself, you're interacting with other mothers, and that's making you aware of your limitations, and that being aware of those limitations is what is inspiring you to terminate the pregnancy. It's what's saying that might be a better option. But you can, as you're becoming aware of your limitations and interacting with these people, they are also able to give you access to new knowledge and new resources that will help you get past your limits, or help you do better than you have been doing up until this point. Yeah. So also going through with it, pushing it to the end, you're going to have to lay down of yourself, but it'll also make you evolve. You will move from the virgin archetype into the mother archetype, and then from that you have access to the crone, where all the power of intuition and magic is at your disposal. Wisdom and knowledge and experience, that's all the crone energy, and that comes after the mother. But you will only reach the mother if you allow that to be for yourself. If you terminate the pregnancy, you're going to take yourself back to the virgin archetype. So that concludes your reading. Yeah, hope it gives you some direction on where you're going to go from here. And yeah, basically the only advice I have for you is that once you have made a decision, don't spend any amount of time looking back on that decision and wishing you had made a different choice. Once you choose either to terminate or to carry on through and carry the pregnancy through and have a child, commit, and then just adapt yourself. Or like you're saying, you don't know if you're by the means to be a good mother for your child at this point. That doesn't matter. You will evolve and adapt as necessary to make sure that your child is secure, if that's what you choose. And if you choose to terminate, you will adapt and evolve in order to overcome the emotional turmoil that comes with that choice. So c'est là, pausing to contemplate the magnitude of what has been revealed. And now we will be moving on to, I forget, Skitty's reading. And I'm just going to block this ITZ Prince Happy. My system is freezing up naturally. Something is wrong. Sorry guys, my chat is malfunctioning. My whole system is malfunctioning. I don't even know if I'm still live. Doesn't look like it. Oh wait. Something's happening. So at the moment I can't see anything. I can't see any chat, so I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. Technical difficulties. Okay. Anyway, thank you for confirming your question, Skitty. And Didiki says, good day again. Glad to see you. I want to know if this will be heading upwards from now ahead or downwards, what to expect. Welcome Didiki, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Yeah, we're just getting on with a big queue. We've got a quite a queue. But anyway, let's get on. We've got Skitty's reading up next, and thank you guys. I don't know if I disconnected or what happened. Mama say more. So the way the queue works, Mama say more, is you ask a question and then you get added to the queue. So I'm having a look to see if you asked a question. The only thing I saw was you coming online and saying you switched to Discord. So after Skitty we have Ashley, and then we have Jelly Melly Mellow on Twitch. Amazing, thank you. I just want to check your question again, Skinny, but it keeps on... I keep on losing it in the chat. The chat's gotten so busy. Okay, were you right in walking away from your love relationship, or did I just sabotage it? Cool. Did Skitty make the right choice in walking away from this relationship? Past interval, present interval, and future interval. Okay, cool. Let's turn over your cards and see what we've got. We have a Nine of Swords, a Nine of Wands as your past interval. So this is in the past, and this is what inspired you to make this decision to walk away from the relationship. So it was a self-reflection period. You had been working on setting intentions towards manifesting your own desires and your own dreams, and then you sat and you contemplated it. You looked back on all the decisions that you made and all the efforts that you made towards making your desires real for yourself, and you observed what what aspects of your environment caused you to, I don't know, sabotage yourself in that process. You looked at ways that you were committed and did well, and you tried to understand why it is that certain emotional stimulus caused you to step away from what you were creating and the intentions you were setting, and you looked at what aspects of your process brought you joy and allowed you to feel fulfilled. This process of self-reflection and observing all the efforts that you've made and all the decisions that you've made is a period of learning, so that you don't repeat mistakes in the future, and so that you can apply the pros that you've learned, the things that worked for you, can apply them in the future. And so part of that, you looked at that and you saw that in the relationship there were certain things that were happening in the relationship and being said in the relationship that were discouraging you and separating you from the vision that you were creating for yourself. And so that inspired you to bring about an end and walk away from the relationship. And that's what has brought you into the present. And in the present we have number 19 of the trumps, and it is the sun. Okay, so it's reversed, and this one is saying that you are, in the present, you are the source of energy in your life. So, like the sun, the planets orbit the sun, and the sun's energy gives our planet its potential to bring forth life and abundance. Similarly, you act as the source in your life. So you give your environment the possibility and the potential to bring forth life and abundance. The card being reversed is saying that you're putting out that energy deliberately. You're giving it to certain people. You're giving it to family. You're giving it in the relationship. Even if you've walked away, you're still giving of your energy to make sure that the environment can bring forth abundance. And the card is saying that deliberate effort of pushing out energy and giving it to people and to the environment is not in your interest. What you need to be doing is just living authentically as you are and who you are and being yourself truly. And in that state of being, then you won't feel like your cup is being depleted anymore. You'll continue to be the source that gives the environment its potential to bring forth abundance, but you won't be draining your cup. It will be balanced. You will stay full. You'll be focusing on yourself and your own mission and making your own reality for yourself and just existing within that purpose authentically, and that will give your environment and the people in your environment the potential to grow and to bring forth abundance into their lives and into your life. But the present way of doing it, where you're deliberately investing and giving out of your energy, is depleting you, and that's not in the interest of creating your dream for yourself. You're going to experience burnout that way, and you're going to feel like you're being taken from, like everyone in the environment is taking from you. And while you might see returns on that value that you're giving, it's not healthy for you to be drained like that. Rather, exist authentically as who you are and allow that to affect your environment as a side effect. Future interval. The 6 of discs. So the 6 of discs is saying that what's opening up for you is the opportunity to interact with other people. So this card is saying yes, walking away from the relationship was the right choice. As we saw here, you were trying to create something for yourself and you were self-reflecting on that process, and you realized that the relationship was getting in the way of what you were creating for yourself. So walking away was the right decision. Future interval, things that's opening for you, this vision you're creating regarding your physical security and your financial security and your career future. What's opening for you is interacting with other people and forming new connections and new relationships, and getting involved with groups of people who are doing the best that they can towards manifesting their own futures, because like they're doing the best that they can, you're now doing the best that you can to move towards your own goals. And as you're doing that, the opportunity that lies in front of you that will unlock the future you're creating is to interact with other people who are doing the same and form new connections with people who are using their resources and their knowledge to the best of their potential. And when you're doing this, you will give little pieces of knowledge and access to new resources to the people that you interact with, which will help them evolve and grow towards their objective, and simultaneously they will give you little bits of information and access to new resources that will help you evolve and grow towards your destination. This forming these new connections is going to be challenging because they're going to make you aware of your limits. So you're currently doing the best that you can be doing, but there are still limits on the amount of knowledge you have, and there are still limits on your resources, the amount of money you have to invest, the amount of technology that you have, and the quality of the technology. So all of those things, they're going to make you aware of how you're overreaching based on the limits of your resources and knowledge, and that's going to be a difficult realization to come to. But you are also going to make them aware of their own limits and where they're overreaching. And in this becoming aware of previous limitations, you guys are going to exchange energy and resources and knowledge that will help you get past those limitations and evolve and grow towards your destination. So that concludes your reading. Thank you very much for joining us. Please follow, please like, subscribe. Send me a donation of your choosing if you buy the means. That is entirely optional, but very much appreciated. And I'm sure that we'll see you again. Thank you so much. Okay, so Mama Seymour is Ashley on Facebook, switched over to Twitch. Amazing, thank you. Hi from Boston, NA. Welcome, Tracy. Thank you for joining us. I'm having a look through the chat to check who's up next. So after Skitty was Ashley. Ashley, if you're still around, let me know, because you're up next. And after Ashley is Jelly Melly Mellow, if Jelly Mellow is still here. You're most welcome, Skitty. Most welcome. And yeah, I'm sure we're going to see you again. And thank you for your support. So basically, just waiting for Ashley to confirm and Jelly Melly Mellow to confirm, because they are, yeah, Ashley's up next and then Jelly Mellow. So just need confirmation on that, guys. Tracy Coleman, hi from Boston, NA. We already saw that comment. Rashmiya. Hi, will I travel to Nepal in the new year? You have been Rashmiya, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we can get to you before our 2 hours are up. Seth Gomez, may I have a reading when you have a moment? So I have just checked over the chat to see if I could find a question from Seth Gomez. Yeah, you get added to the queue once you ask a question. So you can go ahead and do that. Since I'm not receiving any kind of confirmation from Ashley or from Jenny, let's see who was up next. Oh, Ashley is here. Awesome. So Ashley, you're next. Your reading is next. We've got 20 minutes on the clock, so that's enough time for two readings. So I'm going to do Ashley's reading, and then we'll have time for one more. So Mama Seymour is watching us on Facebook and on Twitch. Amazing. But you're up next. You're up next, Ashley. This next reading is for you. I don't quite remember your question though, so let me find that in the chat. What do my next few months look like? Awesome. What does the beginning of 2022 look like for Ashley Seymour? Okay, so Ashley, your first card is number 11 of the trumps, and it's called Lust. In the Rider-Waite, it's called Strength. And the energy of this card talks about the strength of desire. Like when you have a desire, there's a certain amount of strength that comes from that. You know, when you want something, you make it happen because you want it. There's a strength in that. So this card is talking about past interval, so it's things that have happened up until now. So your 2021, leading the last few months of 2021, you've identified what you want and you've come to realizations regarding what you need to do and who you need to be in order to see that realized. And so you've started implementing that and taking action to make your desires real for yourself. You're finding the strength of desire. You're saying, hey, I want this. It's up to me to make it happen. And that's what you've been up to in the last few months of 2021. In the present, we have a Queen of Discs, and once again, the Queen is talking about that strength of desire. This time it's discs, so it's that kind of energy talking about finances, the physical world, fitness, health, that sort of thing. So in the present, you're identifying what you want regarding your finances, regarding your home life, regarding your personal health and fitness. And you're saying, okay, this is what I want. It's up to me to make that real, and I need to take action towards those ends. Looking back over your life and seeing the absence of the things that you want and saying no more of that. We're going to bring our desires into the present. We're going to engage the strength of our core and move towards the things that we want from life, particularly regarding fitness, health, finances, and home security, like home space, the comfortability and security within the home space. And so that's what is in store for you in the next few months, in the early years of 2022. If you stay committed and you find structure and routine and set up a process that you can go through each day that brings you one step closer towards these desires that you're manifesting for yourself, then that's what you're going to see. You're going to start to see the results of those efforts appear. The first signs of success in that area is going to be visible in your first few months of 2022. So this future that you're creating, now we're going to see the key that unlocks it in your future interval, which is the 8 of Discs. So what's opening for you, what you're going to have to go through now in the first few months of 2022 if you want to really achieve this goal for yourself that you're setting and these desires that you have regarding your health and your fitness and your finances and your security, there's going to be some shifts you're going to have to go through. Some shifts in the way that you currently handle your income and your expense. So the point of these shifts will be to find balance. So first of all, in the present, while you're making these desires real for yourself and engaging your strength, and setting your routine that makes you productive towards your outcome, now part of that process is going to be acknowledging how you have sabotaged that process in the past. when you have gone and spent money unnecessarily or overeaten and then not exercise because you feel cuck or whatever the case might have been, acknowledging all of those things about the past and cutting them out, making habit changes and lifestyle changes that will bring about more balance in the way you handle your physical energy, so the income of physical energy and then the expenditure of that energy, income of finances and then the expenditure of that income, creating a balance in expenses. And yeah, the card just wants to point out that acknowledging yourself, acknowledging where you have deliberately put yourself out of balance is not something that's easy. Taking responsibility is not easy, but that's what your early years of 2022 is going to look like. It's going to look like you going through these shifts and making changes to your lifestyle and habits that bring you into balance between your income and your expense. And that's income, physical, financial income. That's also income, intake of energy, and then the expense of that. So that's to do with exercise. If exercise is something that you're working on, when I see the Queen of Discs, it does talk about a desire for fitness and health, desire for dietary changes, healthier diet, desire for healthier activities. So the Eight of Discs is that's your key, making adjustments and shifts to your lifestyle and habits in order to create that balance of energy exchange within yourself. Yes, so that concludes your reading. Thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, so I believe that you've already followed me on Facebook and liked my video there, so I'll encourage you to do the same for me here on Twitch. You can follow me, and yeah, there's no subscribe button just yet, and I've been thinking when I do get to that point where I'm affiliated on Twitch, I'm gonna stop streaming tarot to Twitch. I want to keep those things going to multiple platforms, and affiliating myself with Twitch would mean that I have to use Twitch exclusively, which looks like a detriment to me. But I will still be putting other exclusive Twitch content up, I think, once that happens. Anyway, thank you so much. We have time for one more reading, so I'm going to have a look and see who that is going to. Welcome, Louise Smith Black. We have quite a few readings claimed already, and I'm about to go ahead and do the last reading for the day. Okay, we've got 14 minutes. Maybe I can squeeze 2 in. But after Ashley, who was next after Ashley? Jelly Mellow. It looks like Jelly Mellow is up next. Are you still here with us, Jelly Mellow? Jelly Melly Mellow? Reading about my job appointment today. Or perhaps you've already gone for your job appointment. After Jelly Mellow would be Seth Gomez. So Seth Gomez, you are up next for a reading. Do you have a question? Ashley Seymour says, thank you so much, that's so accurate. I'm so glad it resonates with you, and you are most welcome. Okay, I'm going to give away a general reading for Seth Gomez. And after Seth would be Ashish on Facebook. If you're still here, Ashish, let me know, because I can probably squeeze one more reading in for you. Tracy Coleman and Louise Smith, I have run out of time to give away free readings. If you would like to get a reading today, an overtime reading, please send a donation. Otherwise, yeah, you guys are going to have to wait for Sunday. My 2 hours are almost up, and the queue is quite long, so anyone who wants a reading, who wants to squeeze their reading in, any of the new viewers who have joined us, Louise Smith Black, Tracy Coleman, if you want a reading, you're going to have to send a donation, because they're Rashmi, same thing to you. I've run out of time to give free readings. I'm going to give one for Seth now, and then the session is concluded. Unless I receive a donation from one of you guys, then I will bump you up to the top of the queue. Once again, I'm saying you're going to need to send a donation, guys. Rashmia, if you want to be bumped to the top of the queue, you're going to need to send a donation. Tracy Coleman, same thing. If you want to be bumped to the top of the queue, you're going to have to send a donation, because we're almost out of time. I'll say that once more, everybody. This is the last free reading that I'm about to give away now. If anyone wants a reading, anyone who has not received a reading, you guys are going to have to send a donation to get an overtime reading. You can find the links to my Air Fund and my PayPal in the description. Anyway, here's a general reading for Seth on YouTube. And this will be the last free reading that I give away for the day. Yes, Seth is up next. Seth is getting the last reading. What general advice does the universe have for Seth? Past, present, and future. If you'd like another reading, Sharita, please go ahead and send a donation, and I will squeeze one extra in for you. Thank you. So Seth, your first card here, the past interval, is the Seven of Cups reversed. So what this card is saying to me is that in the last couple of months, within this year of 2021, you have been distracting yourself from what you're actually feeling. So relationships, relationship life, and world events, current world events, and just general influences from your environment were causing emotional discord in you. They were creating turmoil in your emotional being, and so you turned to distractions like video games, binge eating series, binge watching series, smoking, drinking, whatever it might have been. All of these things are used as distractions, but basically you started to distract yourself rather than deal with the emotions that were being triggered in you, and this was unhealthy. It was like a suppression, pushing all those things down, pushing them down, and then they build up, they build up, and at some point they're going to explode. But this is something that's happened in the past and something that's coming to a close now. Whether that means that it's about to explode or whether you're about to start facing those feelings and integrating those shadows, we'll have to find out. In the present, we have a Nine of Cups reversed. So this is saying to me that you're trying to work towards some kind of emotional fulfillment. You're trying to face the feelings that you're going through. You're trying to self-reflect and look back at the way you handle your emotional being, and trying to say, okay, where have I suppressed? Where have I distracted? So that's a good thing. You're trying to avoid the explosion, the lid blowing off the pot, which is excellent. Yeah, so you're not finding the emotional security and the state of emotional peace that you're looking for. All of these feelings that you're facing now, there's a big backlog of them because you've been distracting yourself from them for quite some time. So there's a backlog of a lot of intense feelings that you're having to experience right now. But the card is saying that this is the final process before you have completion in your emotional being. So that completion will come in the form of like a breakdown. These difficult emotions, when it's been for me, when I have this kind of 9 of cups reversed following a 7 of cups, it usually looks like me breaking down and crying a little bit. Really, those emotions reaching their peak and me just letting it out, letting it flow and interacting with it. So this period of self-reflection, where you're looking back on how you've been handling your emotional self and looking at ways that you have been distracting yourself, looking at how you've interacted negatively with your emotions and how you've interacted positively with them. This is the final stage before you have that completion. And these emotions being difficult ones, that completion is going to be an intense emotional experience. But once you reach that completion, it's over, and you can start insituating that peace of mind and that emotional satiety that you're looking for. So right now you're busy dealing with all the backlog of the emotions you've been suppressing and ignoring and distracting yourself from. And as you're going through that reflective process, that's the final stage before you reach the completion of those emotions and the full integration. And once that integration happens, which is going to be difficult, painful expression, but once it's expressed and once it's experienced, that backlog is cleared, and you can start experiencing and honing that peace, finding that peace within yourself. So looking at future interval, which is the Ace of Wands, also reversed. So this card is saying that this future that you want, where you are emotionally satiated and secure, it relies on you searching for that within yourself and finding that within yourself, and not relying on other people, not having to be in a relationship or look to the satisfaction from anyone except yourself and your spirit and your purpose. And then having that future relies on you communicating clearly. This card reversed is saying that there is miscommunication going on, and as you move forward, there is going to be miscommunication. People have desires, and people have set intentions towards their desires, and people are miscommunicating their desires, and that's not in your interest, and it's not in the interest of their desires. So the card wants to warn you not to do the same thing they're doing. Be aware that when you're meeting people and interacting with people, they might not be entirely honest with everything that they want or what their intentions really are. And it's important that you don't follow suit of that example. It's important that you communicate clearly regarding what your intentions are and what your desires are. And that'll bring you the emotional satisfaction and the state of emotional peace that you're looking for. Trying to hide certain aspects of your intentions or your desires is going to perpetuate the cycle and lead you back to here, 7 of Cups reverse, where you're distracting yourself from difficult, tumultuous emotions, which will lead to you having to go through this emotional processing once again. So don't repeat that cycle. Move towards the peace by communicating clearly and being honest about your intentions and your desires, even when it's blatantly obvious that other people are not being honest with their intentions. And that concludes your reading, and that concludes all of my free readings for the day. So I'm going to have a look now at my emails to see if anyone sent a donation, and in that case I will be squeezing in overtime readings, so otherwise I have other responsibilities to attend to. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I hope that you guys are blessed by the value that you receive from these spreads. And thank you for blessing me with all your support and all your follows and your likes and your shares and donations. I don't get donations in every stream, but when I do, it's such a blessing. And my system is frozen again. Trying to check my notifications. Queen of Wands, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You've caught me right at the end of the stream. I'm just about to close. I'm trying to check my notifications because I did let everyone know that I was running out of time and that there were a lot of readings in the queue, and just gave everyone the opportunity to send a donation so that they could be bumped to the top or get an overtime reading. And so that's where I'm at. I'm about to check to see if we got any donations, but my system is not responding. It's giving me a lot of shit today. Hopefully it'll let us in. Hopefully it'll let us in at some point. Let me in. Knock knock, little pig, let me in. Slow frozen system. Okay, something's happening. Something's happening. It's so interesting, you know. Like some days this machine will work seamlessly, no problem. Other days it will give me all this shit. And you can never know, because then I'll use the desktop inside and then that one gives me a load of shit. And it's like, what? That one likes to disconnect randomly, just disconnect me. And this one randomly frees up. Yikes. More freezing. Okay, excuse me, I'm gonna go and have a look at my notifications on a different device, because this device is playing games and I don't like it when devices play games. Amazing. We have a donation from Sharita. So Sharita, would you like to go ahead and ask your final question? And we can give you your reading before we close. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. It's such a blessing. It makes the 2-hour stream very much worth it. Thank you so much. And Seth says thank you so much. Is it Chris? I forget. Chris, take care, mate. Maybe I'll catch you next time. Yeah. Plus lip sync is out as well. Oh well. I do my best. It goes in, it goes out. As the network improves or degrades, the sync moves up and down. But yeah, Sharita, I'm waiting for your question so that we can give you your final reading. We can give you your reading and yeah, let's make sure that you get the value that you've paid for. Okay, sending a message for Sharita. I'm gonna close the stream when I'm done with this thing, and then if you see this in the video, if you check the end of the video and you see yeah, you hear me say this, then you can go ahead and send me a friend request or a message request on one of my platforms in the description, and I can give you your reading privately. Yeah, basically just letting you know you've got a free reading. Well, you've got a paid reading in credit, and you can claim it. You can claim it anytime. It doesn't have to be right now in this feed. Seth Gomez is alright, I'm gonna head out, but thank you everyone and stay safe, make it a good one. Thank you so much for joining us and supporting us, Seth, and for keeping our chat so busy. Very much appreciated. And yeah, just waiting to hear from Sharita. Ah, Sharita is here. Amazing. Okay. What is the outcome between me and Ricardo regarding the relationship and the child? Further clarity. Never hurts to get a bit of extra clarity. What is the outcome regarding Sharita and Ricardo in regards to their expected child? So your first card, the past interval, is the Eight of Discs reversed. So this card, it's talking about how you are both going through shifts. This separation is putting you both through some shifts that the point of these shifts is to bring balance in income and expense. That's regarding finances. So securing income, making sure that there isn't debt being formed each month, making sure that there's something to save. So this separation is giving you guys the opportunity to make the lifestyle and habit shifts that are necessary to create that balance in the income and the finances. And let's have a look at the present. So in the present we have the Three of Discs also reversed, and this Three of Discs is saying that right now both of you you're becoming aware of yourselves and how you struggle with working with others. So this card is saying that the primary difficulty that you guys had in your relationship was, first of all, working with each other, seamlessly integrating your processes. So whatever you're doing to create financial security, whatever he's doing to create financial security, to support each other and work together in that was something that you struggled with. More than that, there were external variables. There were people who would come in from the outside and they would make suggestions, or they would degrade, belittle the efforts that you're currently making. Just external influences that added all these variables, other people to the system that didn't need to be there, that interfered with the relationship and caused fights and disagreements between you guys, caused lack of harmony, in essence. Future interval. And the outcome is the Six of Swords. So this outcome card is saying that what's going to happen here is, whether or not you guys stay in a relationship, if you keep the child, it's going to cause the growth of a strong relationship where you guys support one another and help each other overcome limitations. So if you're in trouble, he'll be there to help you, and if he's in trouble, you'll be there to help him. And that's particularly regarding the purpose that you guys will be creating together for the child, for your child together. So maybe you get back into a relationship, maybe not, but either way, this card is saying that you guys will be there to support one another and help one another raise your child together, separate or together. And yes, there is lagging, definitely from my end. My system is not coping right now, and I'm not sure what that's about, if Windows is doing updates in the background or whatever. I hope you could hear what I was saying though. I know there's a desync between the audio and the video, but hopefully what I was saying was clear. I'll clarify, Basically, the cards are saying, past interval, the separation you guys are experiencing now is giving each of you the opportunity to go through the necessary lifestyle and habit shifts that'll bring balance in income and expense, to make sure that there's no debt being made, and to make sure that you guys are earning enough to be able to save for your child. Present interval, 3 of discs, saying that you guys are becoming aware in the present of how you weren't able to work with one another. So whatever his process for providing financial security and your process for providing financial security, you guys had some difficulty working together in that and supporting one another. And also there were other people, other influences from outside sources, friends and family, that were also contributing to the disharmony in the relationship. Outcome card is saying that whether or not you guys stay in a romantic relationship, your outcome is going to be that you will both work to support one another in your purpose that you set for yourselves. So the purpose is raising and securing your child, and you guys are going to be supporting one another in that. There will be a relationship there. It might not be sexual, it might not be romantic,